Hello everyone, my name is Kit Cabello of hardlensmedia, and today we're doing a very special interview with Joshua Gray. We've interviewed him before at the gubernatorial debate, and now we're doing a full sit-down interview with him to discuss why he's running for the 3rd District here for Cook County Commissioner. Joshua, thank you for joining Hardlens Media.
Thank you, Kit.
So, let's get started. Joshua, you're running for the 3rd District for Cook County Commissioner in Chicago. And on your campaign website, you have a background being a community organizer. You helped launch the Southeast Legal Clinic. And you are currently the Director of Advocacy at a Chicago Education Reform Organization. So, how have these experiences shaped you, and how will you use these experiences to help you in regards to passing policies in Cook County should you win?
All right. A very easy question. So they shaped me to be a person of servitude. Public office is exactly what what it should be, which is servitude for people. You know, I've been taught a long time ago by my mentor, Father Flager, that to serve the people, you have to love the people. You know, to lead the people, you have to love the people, and you have to be amongst the people. I had a career of being amongst, the people of Chicago, from organizing around gun violence or, ex-offenders' rights, to education, 10-year stint in education, where I worked with kids, black and brown kids, to make sure that they know that education is the key and the only thing that nobody can really take from you. And now I'm doing education on the higher level in terms of dealing with the state and the city. But one thing people can gather from my past is that I am for the people, and I urge people to kind of in this election process to kind of like really look at people's history, what they've done before they wanted the public office, what they've done before they got in the public eye, because that tells a lot about that person.
All right, that's a very good answer. So, as your campaign for the 3rd District continues, you will be presently facing off against Jerry Butler, who has remained in that seat since the 1980s, and that's a very long time. So, what separates you from Jerry Butler, and what are the challenges that your campaign has faced in regards to reaching out to the voters here in the 3rd District?
What sets me apart from Jerry Butler, and Jerry's has had a wonderful career, long career, and I very much so respect what he's done. But it's about that time. It's about the new guard. You can't have innovation if you have the same people that have been in there for 30, 40 years. Innovation comes with new blood, new faces, new ideas. I'm a servant. I've been a servant. I lived a life of servitude. So I think that's the main thing that kind of makes us stand apart. I am running a campaign for the people. Running a campaign with the people. It's a grassroots campaign. No machine politics whatsoever, person by person. So I think the grassroots part of my campaign and even part of me makes me different.
And so for your campaign, is it similar to what Bernie Sanders did, or what like Justice Democrats or brand new Congress candidates are doing, which is not taking any corporate donation money? Is that something that your campaign is actively doing?
So we're a fundraiser, definitely, and one thing when you serve people, you're serving all of Chicago. So yeah, I mean, I'm serving all of Chicago. So matter corporate, people in the South Side, people in the West Side, North Side, downtown. I'm serving everybody.
All right. And a real quick follow-up though, Illinois and Chicago most notably has a long, sad history of basically having elected officials and their families stay in power for a very long time. And Jerry Butler, as mentioned before, has been in power since the 1980s. And you talk about new ideas and new blood. Yeah. Is this something that you're really going to drive on the campaign to really say that I'm somebody different?
Yeah, most definitely. I'm gonna drive that home, that I'm different from the norm. And I think that they say that the sense of insanity, what is doing the same thing over and over again. And as voters, that's what we have done. We've voted for the same people over and over again, Even sometimes, I mean, they might not even have our best interests in mind. So voting a guy this time that is everywhere in the district, and really trying to get to meet people, shake hands, and that I'm for you, it'd be really different this time. So I think people have the opportunity to kind of take part in some form of change.
Okay. Now, on your campaign website, you talk about the community take-back plan. And the first one that is covered is crime. And your campaign website quotes as such, crime is at a rampant rate in Chicago. Families are afraid and forced indoors. Businesses have blackballed and labeled our communities as unsafe, unfit for commerce. Now, you have a 5-point plan to reform the police and criminal justice in Cook County. What are the resources that are needed to implement your policies? And in the 3rd District, how has crime and the police action affected the community?
Yeah, I've actually narrowed it down to 3, to make it easier. The first one's opportunity. I think people commit crimes because they have an idle mind. They have no activities. I grew up with activities. I'm from Hyde Park, south side of Chicago, and we had tons of activities in Hyde Park. And even in the south side, to go to basketball stuff, religious organizations had stuff for kids to do. Not only that, opportunities, people had jobs at the time. So opportunities to be employed, opportunities that I think the county has. One of them is the workforce. It's called the Workforce Innovative Opportunity Act. It's a $12 million program that the city has with conjunction with the Cook County. That we have 12 locations in Chicago that are set to give people opportunities, just like that. But it's been mismanaged.
Right.
So you need opportunities like workforce. We need to promote entrepreneurship. Instead of begging grocery stores or begging stuff to come to the South Side, that we just do it ourselves. I'm a huge champion of cooperative organizations, cooperative businesses, where the workers kind of determine what happens with the organization. Huge fan of that. And then also, you have second chances. We're not. I think we have in Cook County, we've been very. We have not been proactive. We've been very reactive to people doing something, throwing it in the county jail, and then releasing them for minor offenses. But how about we never get them, they never touch a jail at all, And that's where I think proactive policy comes into place, where like they're doing on the West Side. The Chief Judge Evans has a program on the West Side. It's called, it's a community court. So a kid commits a crime, first-time offender, has never had, has no type of record. Comes before a judge. The judge refers him to the community court, which is a group of residents in that community where he committed the crime. And then then the residents decide what to do with them. So they never touch a jail. And so I want to get to the point where Cook County is proactive, and our kids are not touching jails. They're doing other preventive measures. It costs us $150 per day to hold somebody in the county. It costs $500 to hold a juvenile in the juvenile center. That is money that we can give back to the community.
I see. And your third plan, your third point?
Oh yeah. So I'm sorry. So my third point. So it's opportunity and innovation. I think that we have a sheriff's office that we can definitely utilize. And then I think that we can have innovative programs where we teach people to be self-employed. Programs that can teach construction, can teach auto mechanic. These are jobs that people can go out and get employed right away, or even start their own business. And then of course funding, on innovation. So funding is a big deal. We have big time programs like the experimental station in Woodline that are doing big things, small operation, big things. And those are the type of programs we need to fund to keep kids active and off the street. So giving kids the opportunity, giving kids, being innovative with county services, and then giving people second chances is kind of what I believe in.
So speaking of second chances, unfortunately when an ex-offender gets out, the system most likely will take them back in.
Yeah.
So what type of opportunities are there for ex-offenders and high school dropouts? And what will your policy be towards to those two groups?
Yeah, so currently there are no programs for them. I mean, they don't do it well, if there are. For me, when I get in the county, I'm going to have something called a teaching trade program. So that's kind of what I spoke about earlier. It's kind of like taking the ex-offenders, taking the young adults that dropped out of high school, and giving them a skill they can use. Whether it's carpentry, electrician, whatever that is, whatever that looks like for them, helping them get that skill and helping them to become immediately self-employed.
Okay. So with schools being shut down in low-income neighborhoods, do you believe it has led to the rise of criminal activity? And if you're elected, how are you going to reverse these school shutdowns? Because when Mayor Rahm Emanuel shut down a lot of these schools, the families of all the communities across Chicago, especially in the low-income neighborhoods, were upset and angry that their children now have to go to walk at least miles or take CTA public transportation miles away from their home, when in fact they could go to a school that's in their own neighborhood. Yeah.
Education is a city council issue. It's not a county issue, but I am definitely a Chicagoan. I definitely think that the school closures are something that's not good. I think the county needs to help the city in any ways that they can to actually be an aid to prevent that type of stuff. But I'm definitely, when I am elected, I definitely believe that I am going to help all the 14 aldermen that are in my district to in any possible way they want, to help improve city services.
All right. So another issue that you talk about on your community take back plan is taxation, and it's been a cause for many people to move out and purchase goods out of the county. So it's clear that people are reaching the breaking point, and few are seeing the returns when they have to pay such these huge amount of taxation. So you're talking about a balanced budget as one of your issues. So what does a balanced budget look like? How will you implement it? And does it fall under a progressive tax policy?
Yeah. So a balanced budget looks like to me is a budget that's not built on the backs of the people of Chicago. Chicago has become the city of overtaxation. We've gotten in both from the city and the county level, whether it's the bag tax for the city or whether it's the sugar tax from the county. We have to think as a county. Cook County has to think of new ways that we can get revenue. Taxing the people is not what we should be doing. That is doing nothing but chasing people away from the county. So we just need to find out new revenue streams. And when I'm elected, I will commit to the people that, I'm going to find new innovative ways to get money from the county. And I'm going to hold off on any new taxes that they put in front of me.
So would this be like a progressive tax policy? For example, Senator Daniel Bitts, who's running for governor, and there's Cook County Commissioner Chewy Garcia, who also mentioned about progressive tax policy. And what that means is basically going towards the rich people or rich corporations that are truly benefiting right now under the current system. Would you also be in favor of a progressive tax policy?
I'm definitely in favor for a progressive tax policy. I think people, it's all about equity. People need to pay their fair share. And the taxes right now, that's hurting nobody but the poor people.
Right. And two examples, one would be the soda tax that's right now currently being implemented, and it's getting mixed reviews. I believe the judgment is still out on it, but right now I think there's a lot of people who are not in favor of it. And there's another issue that will relate to you, especially for your election, when Cook County Commissioner Butler voted to uphold a historic 2008 Cook County sales tax increase, which remains the highest in the nation. What are your thoughts on these two issues, that the soda tax as well as the Cook County sales tax back in 2008 that Butler voted for?
Yeah, I think it's more of the same. I think we need to rethink the way we do county. And so it goes back to my point of we have to find new revenue streams. In my district, there's a hospital, Providence Hospital. A lot of the hospitals in Cook County are turning into outpatient clinics. It takes about $1.5 million to actually we get $1.5 million in income from the actual hospitals, but it takes $1.6 million to run it. So we're losing money in that. One of the plans that I have is kind of rethinking the way Providence Hospital is done. Whether we change that into a mental health facility for young adults, because we don't have one in the city. The closest one is Hartgrove, or turning the Providence Hospital into a nursing home. You know, these are different streams of income that we can get, from the county. You know, and that's what innovation is. We have to rethink how we do stuff here.
So, in regards to another issue that's really affecting a lot of low-income and working-class communities, is gentrification. Take, for example, gentrification is playing a huge role in displacing low-income minority communities in Cook County. In Pilsen and South Austin, for example, large real estate developers are moving in with the support of elected city and county officials. And the result of this has led to cultural icons being replaced, destroyed, increase in rent, and displacement of the community. Now, how has this impacted the third ward, or third district, and how has the impact of gentrification affected the community, and what will you do to protect the remaining members of the community here in the third district?
So we have seen a lot of gentrification in the South Side. A lot of it is due to taxes. We're taxing people out their home. And I believe the county does not want to do that, but that's what they're doing. The county can be helpful. They can help. We have a $4.2 million grant that is designed to help people have access to rent space that is affordable. I read a report from DePaul University that stated that Chicago is about 186,000 units under affordable housing. So that's 186,000 houses that we don't have that people at the impoverished level can live in. You know, so gentrification happens when those people that I spoke about, they can't live in certain areas like Hyde Park. You know, last time we spoke, I talked about Hyde Park. I'm from Hyde Park, born and raised. Went to St. Thomas the Apostle. Went to Kenwood Academy, and I make a pretty good living, and so does my wife. And if we wanted to move back to Hyde Park, we couldn't, because they've kicked us out just due to the property value, even the renting value being too high. That shouldn't be. You know, we shouldn't be kicking people out their homes. And when I am elected, I will do my best to make sure that stuff like that does not happen to people at all.
Okay. And final question for this interview. In your community take-back plan, you also talk about services. Now, it is quoted as saying that after 30 years, county services will be returning back to our neighborhoods. We will repurpose a building in the district and dedicate it to a community service office that will serve our district. What are the services you intend to bring back, and does this fall under a progressive job plan, and would it be similar to a New Deal policy?
Yeah, so bring back. So that's a funny statement because the services were never here. A lot of people in this district, they don't know what a Cook County Commissioner does because they've never had the service. So one thing I am committing to, as you saw on my website, I am committing to repurpose 3 buildings in the district to have satellite offices at. So there'll be 3 plus the city office. Currently, if you want to complain to your county commissioner or complain about the county at all, this district has nowhere to go. Even if you want to tell your county commissioner, oh, you know what, you're doing a great job, still have nowhere to go. I think by having satellite offices, I think you give people something that they never had before, and you give them hope. My satellite office will be a place where people can come and look at jobs in general, private and public, county as well. It'll be a place where I will be offering meeting spaces for organizations. It'll be a place where we can do training, parent training. We can have health and family fairs. Just something that can be a part of the community. The district is huge. I plan to put one on the north side, one in the southeast, and one southwest of the district. Again, my campaign is all about service. It's all about the people, and you can't serve the people if you're not if you're not among the people. So that's why that's one thing that I'm committing to do. The first year in 2 years of being in office is making sure that our people have service office where they can get county services from instead of just getting taxed, and that's it.
All right, well, that's a very good note to end it on. Joshua Gray, thank you for inviting Hardlens Media to your home. And to all our viewers and subscribers, where can they find your campaign website so they can maybe learn more about your campaign and the issues that you're fighting for?
Yeah, so my campaign website is citizens with an S for joshuagray.com. Also has social media, which is Josh, Josh Gray, Gray 2018. And that's on both Instagram and Facebook. Instagram and Twitter. On Facebook, it's Citizens for Joshua Gray, and also Joshua Gray 2018.
All right. Thank you again.
Thank you, Kit.
This is Kit of Hardlens Media. Peace, everyone.
You're watching Hardlens Media.